What once felt like a fairy tale now feels like a strained silence, punctuated by arguments that echo louder than laughter. Relationships can be the cornerstone of our happiness, but when cracks begin to form, they can go unnoticed until it feels too late. Today, we're diving into the subtle signs that your relationship might be heading toward trouble. Stick with me till the end because understanding these signs could save not only your relationship but also your peace of mind. Number 1. The subtle shift in communication. The first sign that something may be amiss in your relationship is one we often overlook. A subtle change in how you communicate. Think back to the early days when your conversations felt like an adventure, each word opening a new door to understanding each other's world. You talked about dreams, aspirations, and even the smallest details of your day felt significant. Now, there's a noticeable decline in meaningful exchanges. The vibrancy of your discussions has been replaced by a monotone rhythm, and instead of exploring possibilities, you find yourselves navigating mundane logistics or rehashing unresolved arguments. Let's break it down. Communication is the heartbeat of any relationship. It's what connects two individuals and keeps them in sync. When this connection begins to weaken, it's not always glaringly obvious. It's subtle, a missed goodnight text, a half-hearted "how was your day?" or the slow fade of those deep, soul-bearing talks you once had. These are signs that deserve your attention because they often signal deeper issues. Frequent arguments are another telltale sign, but it's not just about fighting more, it's about fighting differently. Do you feel like the same issues keep cropping up like weeds you can't pull out? These aren't just arguments. They're unresolved patterns. When conflicts recycle themselves without resolution, it's a sign that something isn't being addressed at its core. Instead of feeling heard or validated, it might feel like you're stuck in a loop, talking in circles without making any progress. Take a moment to reflect on this. Arguments are natural, but they're supposed to lead somewhere. Healthy disagreements can deepen understanding and foster growth, but when they turn into endless replays of the same frustration, it's a signal that both parties may be missing the bigger picture. And then there's the absence of active listening. A silent but powerful red flag. Think about the last time your partner genuinely listened to you. Not while scrolling through their phone, not while distracted by the TV, but truly and fully present in the moment. How did it feel when they leaned in, nodded, and responded thoughtfully? Now contrast that with how it feels when your words seem to bounce off an invisible wall. The difference is stark. When communication shifts from understanding to merely existing in the same space, it creates an emotional distance that's hard to bridge. Sometimes, this shift in communication isn't deliberate. Life gets busy, and routines take over. Work deadlines, household chores, and the endless pull of daily obligations can chip away at the time and energy needed for meaningful conversations. But even if the change is unintentional, its impact can be profound. It's like a slow leak in a tire. You don't notice it right away, but eventually, it leaves you stranded. The subtle shift in communication can also manifest as a growing discomfort with vulnerability. Maybe you used to share everything with your partner, from your biggest fears to your silliest thoughts. But now you're holding back, unsure of how they'll respond or if they even care to know. Vulnerability is the bridge that connects hearts, and when that bridge starts to crumble, the emotional connection weakens. Recognizing these signs early on is crucial. It's not about blaming yourself or your partner but understanding that relationships require effort, intention, and care. When you notice a decline in meaningful communication, it's an opportunity to pause and ask, what can we do to reconnect? What's standing in the way of us having the kind of relationship we both deserve? Start by acknowledging the changes. Bring up your observations in a non-confrontational way. For example, you might say, I feel like we haven't been talking as much lately about the things that matter to us. I miss that. Expressing your feelings without assigning blame opens the door for honest dialogue. Next, create space for meaningful conversations. Set aside time when you're both relaxed and free from distractions. This could be as simple as a walk in the park, a quiet dinner at home, or a few minutes of uninterrupted eye contact over coffee. The key is to be present and intentional. Finally, practice active listening. Put away the distractions and show your partner that their words matter. Repeat back what you've heard to confirm understanding, and don't be afraid to ask questions to dive deeper. When both parties feel heard and valued, communication naturally begins to flow again. In summary, the subtle shift in communication is like a warning light on the dashboard of your relationship. It doesn't mean the journey is over. It means it's time to check in, tune up, and make sure you're both headed in the same direction. Because at the heart of every great relationship is the ability to connect, communicate, and truly understand one another. Number 2. The loss of shared activities. Think back to the things you used to do together. Those lazy Sunday afternoons binge-watching your favorite shows, the spontaneous weekend road trips with no destination in mind, or even the quiet, unspoken joy of cooking dinner side by side. These moments weren't just activities. They were the threads weaving your lives together. But now, those shared experiences have become infrequent or non-existent, leaving behind a sense of emptiness. The absence of shared activities isn't always sudden. It creeps in quietly, hidden behind busy schedules, the demands of work, or the exhaustion of daily life. At first, it's easy to justify, "We'll do it next weekend," or "Things will settle down soon." But before you know it, the activities that once brought you closer become distant memories, replaced by separate routines and individual pursuits. This creates a feeling of disconnection that goes beyond the physical. Sure, you might still be sitting on the same couch or sharing the same bed, but emotionally, it feels like you're worlds apart. The sense of us fades into you and me, and that intimate bond you once had starts to unravel. It's not just about missing out on fun or leisure. It's about losing the glue that held your relationship together. Without new memories to anchor your connection, you might find yourselves clinging to the past. You reminisce about the early days when everything felt magical, when every moment was an adventure, and every activity was a celebration of togetherness. But the past, as beautiful as it might be, isn't enough to sustain a relationship. Relationships thrive on growth, and growth requires building a future together, not just reminiscing about what once was. The lack of shared activities isn't just a scheduling issue. It's often a symptom of deeper emotional distance. It reflects a shift in priorities or perhaps a growing complacency. When the effort to create shared experiences fades, it's easy for resentment to creep in. One partner might feel neglected or unimportant, while the other might feel overwhelmed or misunderstood. This unspoken tension can deepen the emotional chasm, making it harder to reconnect. Let's dig deeper into why shared activities matter so much. They're not just about passing time. They're about creating opportunities for connection, understanding, and joy. Whether it's a grand adventure or a simple evening walk, these moments allow you to see each other in different lights, to laugh together, to support each other, and to rediscover why you fell in love in the first place. Shared activities are a reminder that you're a team, facing life's challenges and joys together. So, what can you do when you notice this loss of shared activities? The first step is acknowledging it. Have an open and honest conversation with your partner. Share how you're feeling without assigning blame. For instance, you could say, "I've noticed we haven't been spending as much time doing things together, and I miss that." This kind of statement invites dialogue and shows that you value your relationship. Next, make a conscious effort to prioritize shared experiences. Start small if you need to. Plan a movie night at home, cook a meal together, or take a short walk in the evening. The activity itself isn't as important as the intention behind it. It's about showing your partner that they matter and that you're willing to make the effort to reconnect. It's also important to try new things. Routine can sometimes be the enemy of excitement. Explore hobbies or activities that neither of you has tried before. Take a dance class, go kayaking, or even try gardening together. New experiences not only break the monotony but also give you fresh stories to share and memories to cherish. Rekindling shared activities is about more than just spending time together. It's about rediscovering the joy of partnership. It's a way to remind yourselves of the unique bond you share and to create a future filled with moments you can both look back on with a smile. Because at the end of the day, relationships aren't about the big milestones. They're about the little moments that make the journey worthwhile. Number 3. The erosion of respect and appreciation. Respect is the foundation of any strong relationship, but what happens when it begins to erode? It's not always obvious at first. Sometimes, it starts with small things. Critical comments masked as jokes or dismissive gestures like rolling eyes during a conversation. These seemingly minor behaviors can snowball over time, creating an undercurrent of negativity that's hard to ignore. When respect erodes, communication often takes a hit. Instead of engaging in open and constructive dialogue, you might find yourselves locked in a cycle of sarcasm, criticism, or outright avoidance. The warmth and understanding that once characterized your interactions are replaced by tension and defensiveness. This shift doesn't just hurt in the moment. It leaves lasting scars that can be difficult to heal. Another clear sign of eroding respect is the lack of support during challenging times. Relationships thrive on mutual encouragement and understanding. When one partner feels unsupported, whether it's in their career, personal struggles, or emotional well-being, it creates a sense of isolation. Instead of being each other's cheerleaders, you start to feel like you're facing life's hurdles alone. This lack of support can breed resentment, making it even harder to bridge the growing divide. Appreciation, or the lack thereof, is another red flag. Think about the last time you expressed genuine gratitude for your partner. Whether it was for something big like supporting you during a tough time, or something small like making your favorite meal. When appreciation fades, it's easy to fall into the trap of taking each other for granted. What was once a partnership built on mutual respect and care starts to feel transactional and hollow. The erosion of respect and appreciation doesn't just affect your interactions. It seeps into the very fabric of your relationship. It alters how you perceive each other and, ultimately, how you perceive the relationship as a whole. When you no longer feel valued or respected, it's hard to maintain the trust and connection that are essential for a healthy partnership. So, how do you address this? The first step is self-awareness. Take a moment to reflect on your behavior. Are you quick to criticize but slow to compliment? Do you dismiss your partner's feelings or needs, even unintentionally? Acknowledging your role in the dynamic is crucial for fostering change. Next, communicate openly with your partner. Share your concerns in a way that invites understanding rather than defensiveness. For example, you might say, "I feel like we've been focusing more on what's wrong than on what we appreciate about each other. I miss the way we used to lift each other up." Statements like this not only highlight the issue but also express a desire to improve things together. Rebuilding respect and appreciation takes effort, but it's worth it. Start by making a conscious effort to notice and acknowledge the positive things your partner does. Express gratitude regularly, even for the small things. Compliments and kind words go a long way in rebuilding the emotional bank account of your relationship. It's also important to practice empathy. Try to see situations from your partner's perspective. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they say or do, but understanding their feelings and motivations can help you respond with compassion rather than judgment. Finally, remember that actions speak louder than words. Show your partner that you respect and appreciate them through your behavior. Whether it's by being fully present during conversations, supporting their goals, or simply doing something thoughtful to brighten their day, these actions reinforce your commitment to the relationship. The erosion of respect and appreciation can feel daunting, but it's not insurmountable. With effort, empathy, and open communication, you can rebuild the foundation of your relationship and rediscover the joy and connection that brought you together in the first place. Number 4. The re-emergence of old patterns. Sometimes, the past comes back to haunt us. Old patterns of negative communication or behaviors resurface like ghosts that refuse to rest. These aren't random occurrences. They are unresolved issues, emotional baggage, or habits that were never truly dealt with. Months or even years might pass, but without proper resolution, these patterns lie dormant, waiting for the right moment to reappear. It could be as simple as an old argument that resurfaces, reigniting tensions that you thought were long buried. Maybe it's a recurring issue with trust, where suspicion creeps back into your interactions. Or perhaps it's a tendency to withdraw during conflicts, leaving problems to fester rather than addressing them head-on. These patterns don't just disrupt the present. They erode the foundation of your relationship by bringing back past pain. Red flags often go unnoticed, or worse, ignored. It's easy to dismiss problematic behavior as a temporary phase. You tell yourself it's just stress, or things will get better once this rough patch is over. But deep down, there's a nagging feeling that history is repeating itself. Ignoring these red flags only strengthens their grip, allowing old patterns to take root and flourish once again. The most insidious part of this reemergence is the feeling of being stuck. It's as if you're trapped in a never-ending cycle, where the same issues keep coming up, no matter how many times you try to move past them. The arguments feel predictable, the reconciliation feels hollow, and the overall dynamic becomes exhausting. Over time, this cycle breeds resentment, frustration, and a sense of hopelessness. Why do old patterns resurface? Sometimes, it's because they were never fully addressed in the first place. Conflicts might have been swept under the rug rather than resolved. Emotional wounds might have been ignored rather than healed. When these issues aren't properly dealt with, they remain in the background, influencing your behavior and reactions in subtle but powerful ways. Other times, External stressors can trigger old patterns. A major life change, financial pressure, or even the strain of daily responsibilities can bring unresolved issues to the surface. These stressors act as catalysts, amplifying existing tensions and making it harder to break free from negative cycles. Addressing the re-emergence of old patterns requires courage, awareness, and effort. The first step is recognizing that these patterns exist. Take a step back and look at your relationship objectively. Are there recurring issues that keep coming up? Do you find yourself reacting to situations in ways that mirror past conflicts? Identifying these patterns is the first step toward breaking free from them. Once you've identified the patterns, it's time to dig deeper. Ask yourself why these patterns exist. Are they rooted in unresolved conflicts, unmet needs, or unhealed wounds? Understanding the underlying causes can provide valuable insights into how to address them effectively. This might require honest conversations with your partner, where both of you are willing to acknowledge your role in the dynamic and work together to find solutions. Breaking free from old patterns also requires a commitment to change. This might mean seeking professional help, such as couples therapy, to gain new tools and perspectives. It could also involve setting boundaries, developing healthier communication habits, or working on individual growth to address personal triggers and insecurities. One of the most important steps in this process is forgiveness, both for yourself and your partner. Holding on to past mistakes only fuels the cycle of negativity. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or condoning harmful behavior. It means letting go of the emotional burden so you can move forward together. Finally, focus on building new patterns that promote connection, trust, and understanding. Replace old habits with healthier ones. Instead of withdrawing during conflicts, practice active listening and empathy. Instead of revisiting past mistakes, focus on creating positive experiences and memories. These small but intentional changes can help you break free from the cycle and pave the way for a stronger, healthier relationship. Remember, the re-emergence of old patterns doesn't have to be a death sentence for your relationship. It's an opportunity to confront unresolved issues, grow as individuals, and strengthen your bond. With effort, patience, and a willingness to change, you can break free from the past and create a future that's built on mutual respect, love, and understanding. Number 5. Moving forward with intention. Recognizing the early signs of a failing relationship is more than just acknowledging problems. It's about taking decisive steps toward healing and growth. It starts with self-awareness and an understanding that relationships require consistent effort, understanding, and genuine connection. Open communication is the cornerstone of a healthy relationship. However, this goes beyond simple conversations. It means sitting down with your partner and engaging in a heartfelt, transparent dialogue about your feelings, without fear of judgment or defensiveness. It's a space where vulnerability is welcomed and respected. Active listening is just as essential. True communication thrives when both partners feel heard. Listen deeply to what your partner is expressing, understanding their thoughts, emotions, and needs. Make sure to avoid blame or criticism, instead focusing on empathy and mutual understanding. By truly hearing each other out, misunderstandings are dissolved, and trust is rebuilt. Sometimes, external support can provide a necessary bridge to healing. Relationship counseling or therapy offers a neutral space for both individuals to explore concerns, discuss emotions, and learn new coping mechanisms. A professional can guide you through practical strategies to mend emotional wounds, create lasting change, and foster intimacy. Self-reflection plays a vital role in understanding your own needs, desires, and expectations within the relationship. Ask yourself important questions. What are my personal growth goals? How do my values align with those of my partner? Taking time for self-awareness allows you to identify areas where you can improve, both as an individual and as part of a team. As you and your partner navigate the complexities of your relationship, growth becomes a shared journey. Together, you can rebuild a foundation that nurtures connection, mutual respect, and deeper intimacy. A relationship where both partners feel empowered, valued, and understood is not something that simply happens. It's something you cultivate with intention, patience, and commitment. So, embrace the process. Keep moving forward with purpose, and create a relationship that thrives amidst challenges, bringing greater fulfillment and joy to both your lives. In conclusion, relationships are like gardens. They need care, attention, and effort to thrive. Spotting the early signs of a failing relationship doesn't mean the end. It's an opportunity to course correct and grow stronger together. If any of these signs resonate with you, take it as a wake-up call to invest in the connection you share. Because at the end of the day, every great relationship is built on understanding, respect, and unwavering effort.